guys, so today's video is finally the face edition of my beginners brush videos. I did eye brushes, I think it was like a few weeks ago or a week and a half ago, something like that, and it was super requested for me to do face brushes as well. And as always, I will write all the products I mentioned down below and the links to where you can buy them and their price and stuff like that. So the first brush I wanted to talk about is the e.l.f. powder brush. You can use it for even liquid foundations. I personally do use it for powder because I love the surface of it. Like, it's not rounded, it's flat, and so it makes it so easy to like set your under eyes, get in the crevices of your nose. I find that if a brush is too rounded, you can't really press and set all the right areas with the like precision you want because it's so fluffy. That's what I find anyway. So I love this for powder. It's like $3 or $4 New Zealand dollars. I get mine from Beauty Joint or iHerb. I got my mum onto this brush. She used to use a MAC brush and she prefers this so much more. I just ordered her a couple more because it's that good. It's really soft, really dense, and the packaging's lovely too for the price. The barrel and the brushes and everything almost remind me of a NARS brush because they're honestly like the exact same quality. They look so sleek, and this I would pay like $60 for, but it's only $3 or $4. I just think everyone needs this brush in their life. Even if you're not a beginner, you should get one of these. Next one is also an e.l.f. one. I've tried to obviously stick with more affordable brands because if you're a beginner, you probably want to spend all your money on exciting new makeup products and not brushes. I know that's what I'm like anyway. I'm not super into brushes. This is just called the e.l.f. Stipple brush. I presume this is actually made for foundation. I find it a bit too flimsy for foundation. I mean, you could use it for liquids, but I definitely prefer it for pigmented powders, in particular blush. I love it for blush. You can also use it for highlight. I've got so many of them scattered around the place. I love how they don't distribute too much product at once, which is great if you're a beginner because often blushes can be quite frightening because of their pigmentation. You can just dunk it in a few times and you're like, sweet, good to go, and then you've got a huge line on your face. So these stipple brushes don't have a lot of bristles, unlike a traditional brush. Obviously I'm not a beginner, but I use these over any of my other blush brushes because I have very fair skin, so it's super easy to go overboard on blush, and I just love how these only pick up a small amount of product at a time. Once I have the product, I just dust it over my cheeks like that, bring it up to my temples, and it's such a nice natural soft look. Some of these ones I've had for like 3 or 4 years and they're still going strong, so I'm really impressed. I think these are called like the studio brushes or something. It's a certain line from e.l.f. and all the brushes I've tried from this line with the black packaging are so good. Next brush is a bit more of a splurge, still nothing compared to like MAC and NARS and those kinds of brushes. It is a Real Techniques powder brush. I do not use this for powder to set my face per se. I use these kinds of brushes more just because I like to properly set my T-zone. While I don't think this brush is a total necessity, if you're getting into wearing bronzer, I definitely recommend checking this out. The bronzer I use today is the Clean Color Tanned Raw Matte Bronzer, and I just like tap it in. It's massive, as you can see, compared to a product. It honestly covers like your whole cheek and your temple and your forehead. You can be bronzed in like 30 seconds. Like, it's so easy with this brush. It's really nice and soft. Again, it's not super dense. It's not like a powder brush like this, which is great for setting your face with like a skin toned powder, but this could make you look a bit muddy. So especially if you're on the fairer side and you're kind of scared to bronze, this brush makes it really easy. It just like softly places the color on, and this one is so soft. It feels like a little happy bunny. Okay, next is another one from e.l.f. I think this is from the Studio line as well because it's the same kind of packaging. Actually, all the e.l.f. ones I have to show you are from the Studio line. So like I said, it's a really good line of brushes. This is called the small stipple brush, so it's basically a miniature version of this one. Mine's kind of dirty, sorry. But I love to use this for highlights, so like shimmery cheekbone colors. You could use this for blush too, it would just take a bit longer, and it is slightly denser because it's smaller, so I would still recommend this one for blush. But if you're wanting to save money, you can use this for blush and highlight, and you can use this for blush and highlight, just kind of depends. But if you're wanting to get a bit more specialist with your brushes, this one is so nice for highlight. Again, it doesn't place down too much, so it's not like a strip of shimmer on your face. This is just a perfect size too, fits right on the apples of the cheeks and up the cheekbone. Okay, next is my favorite foundation brush. If you think of foundation brushes, you might think of ones like this that are flat. And these are fine. I mean, I have some friends who use these and it works for them. I personally don't like these on me. I use them still to like set my under eyes and stuff with powder, but I find that having a flat one like this actually creates more work for yourself because you kind of get strokes, almost like paint strokes on your face when you're painting a foundation on, lines from where the bristles are, and it's just kind of hard. You have to like cross hatch and stuff, whereas a brush like this is going to do all the work for you. It just buffs the product in. It's super easy to use. Like I said earlier, you can use this e.l.f. one for foundation, same kind of concept, but it's a wee bit bigger, so I do prefer this one for powder. It's kind of up to you, but I prefer this one for foundation. That's kind of what it's made for. This one here is from XO Beauty. I also have very similar ones from Sigma. When you get them, they look about the same size, but the Sigma ones are just a wee bit more dense, which I don't like as much. I feel like they kind of move the product around and soak up the product a bit too much, whereas this one really buffs it in. These do come in packs, but they also come separately, so you don't have to buy the whole pack if you want to try it. And I just think these are so good for beginners and just for anyone. I mean, I use them for my foundation. I just kind of pat it on like that, and then I work it in circles, and it's like your skin. It looks so flawless and it's so easy. So that's pretty much all your bases covered for brushes in terms of very basic brushes. I also wanted to mention the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush because again, this is so affordable. Really good for liquid concealers under the eyes. I use it to just buff in under there. And it's not just good for concealer, you could also use it for highlight instead of a brush like this if you like a more intense highlight. So if you wanted to pick this up, you'd have a brush for your concealer and then a brush for your foundation, your powder, your blush, your bronzer, and where's the other one? And your highlights. So you've got kind of your whole face there. So that concludes the face brushes video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and it was as helpful as my eye brushes one. I was like, what am I saying? If you want to see how to apply makeup, I did do a 2-part beginners series on how to do your base products and then how to do your eyes, brows, lips, just like really basic stuff if you're just beginning and you'd like to know some tips and tricks and how I apply everything. I'll link those in the side thing or like up here. There's like a little thing you can click and it pops out. I'll put them all in there. Please give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye! Hey everyone! So today's tutorial is on this romantic, kind of sultry makeup look. I think this is so beautiful for a fancy dinner date or anytime you want to look really glamorous. I even think this would be good for a wedding if you don't want to go super soft and natural like a lot of brides. I think it's not too much for a wedding day, but it's still really beautiful.